can go through this slide, and then we can start with the lab setup, and then basically how these security protocols are all hacked. Okay, so over this slide, what we do have is that over the world you can find that people are always on the Wi-Fi. After all, it looks like is the fastest medium to actually interconnect with everybody, right? You can be walking, you have your phone in your bag, and then you are actually connected to Wi-Fi. Places are there, you're actually connected to Wi-Fi. And you do understand that in wireless network communication, there are basically 3 types, right? We do have WLANs, okay? We have the wide area networks, okay? And then we do have the very large scale networks. The Bluetooth sits in a particular range which is actually less than 2.5 gigahertz. So in my research, I'm actually looking at Wi-Fi within the range of 2.5 gigahertz as far as to 5 gigahertz, which is actually operating on the unlicensed frequency band. Okay, so 2.5 gigahertz is basically the unlicensed frequency band. So basically, you can find people sitting by a coffee shop enjoying themselves, and then the basic question you just want to ask is, how secure are these wireless networks? Is it possible that what you're actually sending over these wireless networks can be found out by a person or not? So what did we do? Basically, you can find medical doctors find this Wi-Fi to be very, very effective. They just connect to this Wi-Fi, and then they can update patients' data. And then the thing is that these Wi-Fis which have been set up in these hospitals, can a hacker try hack into it and then, let's say, get confidential data? Imagine your whole president has a medical doctor, and then the medical doctor is updating the president's status through the Wi-Fi connection or at the hospital into the database. And we're saying that, can a hacker actually get this information that is transmitted over air and actually decrypt this information and see every detailed medical information about your president? Because what you have is you set up a Wi-Fi which is supporting the various 3 types of security protocols, and in this thesis work we actually breaking them. So what we did was that you can find every day Wi-Fi has become so much. In fact, if you look at the range at which Wi-Fi is, you'll be very, very amazed. Banks are using it, and that is the most critical aspect of it. You can find that if you enter a banking hall and then you turn on your Wi-Fi, you can see that there are even places where you easily connect to the Wi-Fi network. And know that once you get your access into a Wi-Fi network, you may find a backdoor into the wired network, and who knows, you may hack into their server or something, and that will be very catastrophic for their customers. So this training I'm developing here is very, very important for bankers, especially the IT guys in the banking halls, the schools, the hospitals, even in our military, our intelligence, our national intelligence agency. I actually did a survey. All right, I'll show you the survey where you actually do wall driving. I wall drive so many streets in my country, and I actually survey 1,271 access points that I actually got in all these airports, what have you. And out of these access points, I analyzed them based on the various security protocols, which security protocols have been configured. And then, because in my lab environment, I came to my lab environment, which is here, and then I set up the various 3 security protocols which IEEE supports. And after that, I demonstrated how to break into all these security protocols, and then the advice goes back to this military and then those intelligence and what have you who have set up similar security protocols on their equipment. And I want to prove to them that their security protocols can be hacked, even though it's a crime to hack into somebody's Wi-Fi networks. There are actually black hackers out there who can actually do more harmful. I actually prefer to be a white hacker. My idea is basically into understanding network securities and then support people to actually protect their networks. So join me in this training as we actually understand more and more. So how secure this information over Wi-Fi, that is actually what we are actually researching into. So basically talk about advantages of Wi-Fi. Is just amazing. Look at communication. Let's say you find traffic lights, and then traffic lights are actually being connected by Wi-Fi. So if a hacker hacks into a traffic light, what will happen? Then he begins to control so many accidents. He can just cause amazing accidents. And the funny thing is that, you know, for a hacker to actually get into a wireless network, he doesn't need to be on the wired network. He can stay as far as any place that he can get the signal. So long as he gets signal, he can get connected, and then he can use freely available softwares. I'll show you these free available softwares that is on the internet. You use very free available softwares and on the internet, and then so within 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, he has set up a hacking tool, and then he's ready to hack into the wireless network. There are even some wireless networks based on the security encryption. You can actually eavesdrop on all the transaction that is going over the air interface. You eavesdrop, and if you don't have the security encryption, later on you can actually handle an offline dictionary attack, and then if the password is found within the dictionary, it will basically hack it out and then get access to the network. So what we actually did was we looked at some of these Wi-Fi devices that we have. Imagine you have this is actually in the military, where wireless signals are supposed to be encrypted, and if this military are actually using this kind of less secured wireless networks, then we are actually in trouble for basically countries. So these are actually some of the Wi-Fi devices that you have with this security covers. So you have all these Wi-Fi security devices. This research is actually telling you that these Wi-Fi devices are hackable. So you have to be very careful when you are setting up the security protocol. I have actually published almost like a 300-page document on my research, which will actually go, I'll put it on Google. You can easily download it, and then possibly I may have to sell, but I'm still contemplating whether to sell or not. So here actually what I just want to say is that wireless networks are actually used as extension to the real network. And find that in a corporate environment or a business environment, they have servers. These servers actually carry so much information, very secured information, which are stored on these servers, and their users are supposed to be connected onto an internet switch through a wired network, and then basically a router, and sometimes have a firewall towards the internet. But internally, to promote mobility of their employees, right, what they do is that they have set up wireless network access points in places, and this access point has backdoor connection as a wired connection to this access point into the internet switch. And then what these access points are just doing is that they are Wi-Fi, they are broadcasting these through electromagnetic waves, so that other employees need not connect to the wired network, and then through this wireless network they can get through this access point, and this access point will allow them connection to the internet switch. Then from this internet switch, they can go anywhere, they can talk to the servers, they can go as far as to the internet. Now the idea is that if a hacker finds himself receiving these signals, and that is where the research is based, receiving these signals, and on this access point supports 3 security protocols, which I'm going to show you. Now these security protocols, it can be hacked. In fact, an unauthorized person can get into these wireless networks, so long as he's able to tell what is the security protocol on this. And then we are going to show you that getting the security protocols on this is very, very, very easy. And we also tell you a number of things that you can do to actually protect your wireless networks. Okay, so basically that's for Wi-Fi devices. There are so many of them, they are all being connected to Wi-Fi. So basically our research that we did was looking into how secured all these wireless networks that we have in corporate organizations are. We actually decided to look at the topic vulnerability analysis in wireless local area networks. So we actually surveyed some wireless access points in Ghana, and then basically that is my name, and then it's purely for academic reasons. Okay, so basically that is that, so purely for academic reasons. Okay, so what did we do? basically what we did was that we actually had to survey 1,271 access points in Ghana to identify the security protocols, which I already explained to you. And then basically you do know that every access point actually supports, if you summarize, there are just three. Either you don't have any security settings on it, so it's free, anybody can just join, which is the most critical and catastrophic. We found so many of such wireless access points we do not have security. Perhaps it's because the users do not know how to configure the security, or perhaps users think it's tedious to configure. I actually didn't research into the aspect of it, why there's no security encryption. That can be taken by another researcher into that. So then we also do have the second security protocol, which is basically web, and then the third one is actually the WPA. With the WPA, there are two versions, one which was actually compatible with the old legacy web devices, and then the other which actually required a new hardware change. And then both WPA and then WPA2 actually supports the personal edition, alright, and then as well as the enterprise edition, which I'll show to you. But for now, let's look at the results of our research. So basically what we just did was walk drive through some principal streets in Accra, alright, and then the software for doing this is very simple. If you have an Android phone, you can go to Android store and then just download Wingle, okay, and then when you download, you just have to install it on your phone. So here I am, this is actually my Wingle installation here. That is Wingle installation basically on my phone. Once you turn the Wingle on, you can just put your phone in your pocket and just keep walking or driving. As soon as it gets signals, it's going to pick the signals up, and then basically the signals, it will pick it up, it will store it in an Excel or a KML file, which you actually use to plot this Google Earth for KML, and then also an Excel. So over here you can see that I gathered so much. For example, here we have the access points telling me the MAC address of the various access points, what is the SSID, and then some of these SSID, sometimes they are very funny. You can see here it tells me Achimota branch, and then it actually tells the hacker what this thing is. If you tell me Achimota branch, my mind just go likely it's a bank. That's the only thing that will tell me there's a branch. So also the first advice I'll give to people, IT security experts, is that in fact it's advised that your SSID should be something that is not understandable, or something that will not ginger a black hacker, or ginger an attacker to want to get to you. You can just put something like how are you doing? How are you doing? What else do I do? How are you doing? Or something simple. Don't let your SSID tell about what your industry does or what your organization do. It's very serious for you. Okay, so there are a number of them here you can find. For example, these ones tell me it's a particular kind of device, and that's a particular kind of device because the person didn't change the SSID. I'm very sure it will be using the default password. So if I can just search on Google for this kind of device, and then a number of people will tell me their default password, wow, the person can hack into this wireless network. And then you need to understand that basically in some of these developing countries like Ghana, we do not have very legal backings into network security. For example, if somebody hack into your network security, I really do not know the legal implications, whether the military or the police, the intelligence can track you down. I wish they can, because in the developing countries, so many I'll not say foreigners, but so many expert IT security guys who in the developed countries, there are things like NSA who are always monitoring, who any single thing you do on the network, they can get you, they can track you down to your device and then get you out. I wonder if we do have the same in our developing countries as Africans, and that other countries, what have you. So the main idea is that it's better you take the security into your own hands and then secure your network very well. So my idea is, I will advise that please make sure you get a copy of my research and then understand the flaws in this network security protocols, and then be able to protect your network from activity. So it also tells me when you do word drive, it also tells me what is the security protocol, and then here you can see it's web. And then web, based on our research, we found out that web is flawed. Web has so many vulnerabilities. In fact, you can retrieve the password to this web security in a very simple way. All right, in less than 30 or 40 minutes you can get a password, and it doesn't matter the length of the password that you've done. If you read my research book, you basically understand this. So basically, and then in my research I'll show you how to hack into a web environment. Okay, and it's basically for training purpose and nothing. I will not recommend any of you to take this activity onto a live network, because basically it can be found. I am into network security, and as such I do know and I know how to get you out. Okay, so in future, if my company is built, and then my job will be that these companies will basically outsource their security to my company, and then what we'll be doing is that we will be having a team of experts. We can come together. If you're an IT guy, we can come together, build such a strength, and be able to protect these networks from activity. Okay, great. And then basically this tells me the first time I actually got this signal. As far as to 2013, that was when I got a signal. And then it also tells me the channel that it's on, because this channel is very, very important. And then the receive levels, all right, the optical power levels that we are receiving, as well as the latitude and then the longitude. So this is actually the GPS coordinates, all right. And then also the meters away, how far away am I from the access point. Okay, and then basically the accuracy. Okay, that is the meters. This is actually about the altitude in meters. Basically based on GPS location, and then the type, which is actually tells me Wi-Fi. So this is actually what you get from this, and this information is very, very enough for one to actually start hacking into this wireless network. So basically, as much as we got some which are actually doing WPA-PSK, and then basically CCNP. All these are security protocols we've actually researched into, and then we've actually talked about their vulnerabilities as well. All right. Some here are Star FM. You can see this is actually default safe line. I always advise people that if you buy a modem or whatever from these telcos companies, it's better you change these names. Okay, because these modems, they always come with a default passwords. All right, and if you don't change your password, and if you go do some kind of security protocol, one can easily get into them. All right. Let's see what we do have there. We do have one which is an e-learning environment, doing WPA TCAP. Only hope it's not stationary attackable. All right, good. Labadi Beach Hotel. You can see the way they give their names. It's quite funny. The place we just have to be careful. That's the very first advice I give to you. Okay, and then so a number of them. So based on our research survey, this is what we found. We found that 20.5% of the 1,271 access points we surveyed in Ghana did not have any security protection on them. They had done no security protection. So that means that these wireless networks can actually be hacked into just like that. Boom. And then web represents 8.1%. 8.1 web is very, very vulnerable, which after my research, I wish that the people who are actually doing web will stop using web and use a more secured security protocol. For those that supported WPA-PSK TCAP, we had 8.3% of that. CCNP, actually CCNP is based on the algorithm. You know that web is actually using RC4. It was based on the RC4 algorithm. All right, runs code, and then basically runs code, very old code there. Runs code in actual self is secured. The only mistake is how they use the runs code for web. That makes runs code not secured in when you use the web. So we actually do say that web is vulnerable, but we do not say RC4 is vulnerable, because the way you've used the algorithm that makes it vulnerable. And then in TCAP also used RC4, all right, but CCNP used AES. And then you do know that AES is actually a block cipher. Up to now, AES is not broken, but I do know that the main reason is that researchers found out that AES is going to take us almost about 1 million years or something to break the block ciphers. However, now I do know that we do have quantum computers. quantum computers which actually compute in different reference frames. You know about Einstein's and his special relativity, and these quantum computers are actually at work at NSA, working so hard to see if AES can be broken. I'll not be in doubt if AES can be broken maybe tomorrow or then. That is research. Okay, so a number of them here that we found. Of course, the most secured, we found this as well as 49. At least people are actually being security conscious a bit. That's fine. All right, but the idea of this research is that those who have less security here will actually understand the security protocols. All right, so we'll be ending here with a summary. So out of our research, we actually found that there are basically three security protocols. Either there is web, WPA, or basically WPA2. That is when you have security config. If you don't have security, that's one we do have. And then these security protocols are actually based, the encryption algorithm is actually RC4. This RC4 is actually using static keys. That is, it uses one key for encryption, one key for decryption, one key for exchange. So if this one key, even if a friend tells you about this one key and tells somebody, they don't change these keys. All right, and then that makes it static, and then the way it makes it static even makes it more vulnerable for one to actually hack into these wireless networks. We also found out that WPA actually, as we say, use RC4, but that is using a temporal key. Temporal key basically means that instead of using a static key, it's actually randomizing the keys, right, through a temporal key algorithm. So even though you've introduced one static key, it's going to use this static key to actually initiate a number of temporal keys, and these temporal keys we actually call them the PT keys, all right, or the GT keys, all right. So the temporal keys, those are the types basically. And then we found out WPA2, which require the entire change of hardware as well as software, use the CCNP. CCNP is actually counter mode. Okay, and counter mode is actually an AES algorithm. In our research, we actually explain to detail how the RC4 algorithm works, how TKIP works, how CCNP works, the actual architecture of this CCNP. We explain the various algorithms, the meaning of each of these algorithms. I really love that you actually get a copy of my thesis work. It will be on the market for sales as well, and then you get a copy of it, and then you actually understand this principle very, very well for the IT guys. Okay, great. So out of this, what did we do? In terms of operation, we said that this supports personal edition and or enterprise edition. I will explain that very shortly. And then basically the security control, where does the security sit? The actual security algorithm basically will sit on an access point. So you find that there will be an access point. Your access point can be the phone, it can be the access point that we showed previously. All right, that is for the personal edition. But for the enterprise edition, it's always outsourced to an external server. So you may have heard of things like Radius or basically Diameter. A Radius server, in most corporate organizations, they do have a Radius server. This Radius, what it does is to store the username and passwords, and anytime somebody wants to authenticate to the network, the access point pushes this request to the Radius server. The Radius server goes through its database, find out that whether you have the authentication right, you have the authorization rights, okay, what have you, integrity, everything, checks everything, make sure it's fine, and then after it's fine, it will relay the information back to the AP that should grant you access. Once the AP grants you, the user the access, or the client the access, you now have connection to the internet, and you no longer talk to the Diameter. So basically the Diameter or the Radius is basically for AAA. AAA is actually authentication, authorization, and then basically accounting process, right? However, in this research that I've done, I've proved that Radius server can actually be hacked into, and then not necessarily hacked into, but based on the how the point-to-point connection is set up between the client access point and the Radius server, you can actually input a false Radius server, and then the client and then the AP will will authenticate with that false radio server, and then we exchange information, and the next thing we can break into this encryption. As I've told you, every security instruction I'm giving here is basically for training purpose and should not be used to hack into a live network. If you use that to hack into a live network, you do that at your own pace and at your own foot, and then I promise you, you will be found out. Then the security guys will find you out. Recently I read about our intelligence in Ghana, which is very, very amazing. I read about intelligence in the military, the number of sophisticated equipment that they have, which they are actually monitoring here and there, especially with government organizations. Those who try to hack into, you will be found out, right? You will definitely be found out, because a number of things, when you have a laptop, you connect to internet, you have GPS location, and then basically Google has been so helpful. There are routers everywhere. You can actually track down to a GPS coordinate and find out who is the person who is sitting there. The next thing you find, they're on you. So my best advice to you is that please be a white hacker. Teach people the vulnerabilities, help people to correct them. Okay, now the secret key to all these networks that we found out from our research is nothing else than the password. Okay, so that was all about the password, and these passwords are actually hexadecimal, or what have you. They are actually passwords that users are expected to enter. In most cases, when you enter the password, an algorithm is used to make it temporal for WPA or WPA2, right? So these are all passwords. So then our research was actually, and these passwords are basically exchanged between the client and then the access points, right? And then for the server guys, it will be exchanged between the client and then the server. That is basically the architecture, how the passwords are actually exchanged. Okay, so basically this is the client access point architecture. It's just the client talking to an access point, so they'll exchange the passwords here. So if you talk about the personal edition, this is actually a PSK. This is the setup that we are talking about, and then this is actually the enterprise. So the enterprise, as we said, the client talks to the AP relates to the radio server, the radio checks for the AAA, authentication, authorization, accounting. If the client is supposed to be are authorized, it will relay the information back to the AP for the AP to grant the client an access to it, and then from here the AP can now connect it to the wired network or to the internet or the business infrastructure. All right, and then in our research we actually would demonstrate where to actually hack into all these wireless networks. Okay, great. Okay, so the whole idea is now, if based on our research we want to know how vulnerable these networks is, I think the best place to actually start this attack is the passwords, right? How do you get yourself into all these passwords? That is where the vulnerability actually starts from. So we bring in a hacker. I think my picture is nice enough for a black hacker. All right, hacker who is trying to get into this wireless network. So the only way for the hacker to get into this network is actually to get access to this password. Because if you get access to password, you are inside. But the question is, who will give you the password? The human being will not give you, unless maybe you do something like social engineering. You try to cool the person down, ask person, hey, I'm an IT guy, I called you, may I know the password to your Wi-Fi network? And I hope you don't give the password, but some will do. You say you're an IT guy from where? Oh, I'm an IT guy from Tech Consults. I'm here to check on your Wi-Fi. I'm just downstairs. Can you give me the password to your Wi-Fi network? Please don't do it. Tell the guy, come upstairs here, go meet the boss or meet the IT expert, and then get the password. Don't use your personal password to give. Your password is your personal thing. Don't give it out. You understand? So, but then what do we see? Maybe someone say that, hey, yeah, your voice is so sweet, guy. Okay, this is the password. The password is ABC123. Yeah, so ABC123. Okay, hold on, I'll be back, and that'll be the last time you hear from the person. The person may tell you, hey, you're looking sweet, man, can you just give me that? Yeah, then you give a place. That is social engineering. There are so many social engineering ways. In fact, somebody can even clone a web page and tell you input your password, and then if you mistakenly put it and you don't prove the identity of the page, you enter your password, and then so please, social engineering in IT security is just amazing. You can actually read more on that as well. Okay, I love to find guys doing research in social. Okay, so back to our thing. So the first thing is that the hacker must get the password. How does the hacker get the password? So the question we ask is that, can a hacker hack into WLAN security protocols without knowing the passwords? That's a bigger question. In other words, if you don't tell the guy the password, can he know? The answer is yes, the person can know. How will he know? Very, very simple. He has to do a number of analysis. Number one, he has to examine the architecture of web, WPA and WPA2. How was web formed? How is WPA formed? How is WPA2 working? How does it work? The real architecture. Alright? And then to get the architecture, it's basically available. Alright, on the internet, it's there for you. The architecture, how WPA was made, it's actually an IEEE standard, so it's documented as a standard. So any vendor who wants to build a Wi-Fi device or an access point has to go there, read about this architecture, and actually implement this architecture. So number one, understand the architecture. That is where it starts from. Once you know the architecture, you now begin to punch out the vulnerabilities within the architecture. And that's exactly what we did in our research. Punch out the vulnerabilities within this web WP and WPA2. Is there something fishy about the architecture which you can try to do reverse engineering? Let's say, for example, the algorithm says that add 1 plus 1 to give me 2. Is it possible that if I have 2, I can tell that it was 1 plus 1 which was added to get 2? That is reverse engineering. You've gotten back the architecture, you've gotten the vulnerability. So we actually, in our research, we actually investigated into this vulnerability in web WPA, WPA2, what have you. And then basically, based on these vulnerabilities, we now launch attacks into these networks in an attempt to recover these secret keys. While we are launching the attack, we do not know whether it will be successful or not. But because we found these vulnerabilities and we can do the reverse engineering for these vulnerabilities, we are very high content that we will basically be able to at least 50-50 chance, right? But hacker, if for example, if you have a black hacker who you actually tell it that, wow, this is the government, you actually broadcast this Wi-Fi network. In a Wi-Fi can travel as much as 100 to 200 meters. So let's say that is the Parliament House or the Independence Square, and then this how do you call it, this journalist needs some information you're not giving them, then you have a Wi-Fi network, they hide some black hacker out there. The black hacker just stays in the car so far away, then begins to prune, and then the next thing he has is he looks at the vulnerability. Wow, government agency, you are actually configuring web. Government agency, you are using a cheap dictionary word for your password. Wow. And then he gets into this network, and then the next thing you find, from the network he gets to a server. For you know, the server itself within the wired network may not have any password, or they actually brute force attacks that come in. That he gets into the server, next thing he has the whole document. Once he gets the document, it's big money. And then he uses this document and then shares it out there, and then you never understand how this information go out there on the public. It's simple. You did not secure your Wi-Fi network. Simple. That's the main reason, right? So I wish, please, you have to get a copy of my book. You need to read my book. You need to understand the vulnerabilities in this Wi-Fi network. And then in my book, I tell you the most secured Wi-Fi network. And then from here, go change your Wi-Fi network security settings to this most secured, and then implement all the security protocols I've told you, and you'll be safe. At least in terms of academic, we say you'll be safe for now. Alright, but it's better. Okay, great. So basically, I'll just end that. In my next series, you'll basically be talking about web protocol, and then we'll be examining, as we said, we'll be examining the architecture. We'll talk so much about the vulnerabilities, and it's just amazing. So I'll end here, and then basically see you in my next video. And then also in my next video, I'll be showing you the various softwares that will be downloading freely on the internet for these various attacks that we'll be doing. So join me in my next video, and then God bless you for watching my video. Stay safe, and do understand that this every security protocol I'm breaking here is basically set up right here in my lab. Okay, I do have an access point I've built myself. You can actually see that. I'll show you the various devices, okay, that you'll basically be using, okay, for the various activity. I have my access point myself. Where's my phone, which I've actually set up. Hold on a little, just give me some few minutes. Let me show you my phone, which I've actually set up the various security on my personal device. Okay, so this is basically my phone, which I'll be using as an access point as well. And so this point is going to be an access point, and it's going to give access to another phone to basically connect. Just hold on for me. so I'll basically be using this phone. You know Wi-Fi, how they set it. You set this as your Wi-Fi. You just go to settings, okay, settings, and then basically settings, you choose more. All right, you choose tethering or portable hotspots, okay, you choose that, and then you turn on your portable hotspot on, and then you configure portable Wi-Fi hotspot configure. You choose that, right? And then when you've chosen the Wi-Fi hotspot configure, it will tell you the network SSID, just like what we investigated, right? You put it there. What have you? Dangerous virus. I think dangerous virus is fine. If your SSID says dangerous virus, can you see? Okay, okay, no problem, but at least I'm mentioning to you, so that's fine. Dangerous virus, all right. And then the security protocol, it will ask you whether you want to choose web WPA, WPA2, or what have you. So you choose that as well. Then you ask you to enter a password. You enter the password, you save, and that is what you start broadcasting Wi-Fi. So your phone now becomes an access point broadcasting the Wi-Fi. So once it starts broadcasting the Wi-Fi, any phone or anybody that you want to connect to this phone, all right, because this phone you have your internet connection already, okay, or you can even be your laptop or anything that you want to connect. All you do is you go onto that phone, all right, you turn on your Wi-Fi, you enter the same password that you have here, and then you are connected. All right, so this is how you're going to do it. But the idea that we are going to use over here is that we are going to use this one, okay. This laptop or the hacker does not know the password between this that is shared between these two phones. So we are going to use this tool to actually sniff the packets that will be transacted between these two phones. Use Wi-Fi, we will observe everything, we will save it, and then we will brute force to retrieve the password that is shared between these two phones. All right, so this is the lab, very simple lab setup you can do here to prove that web is very unsecured. You can prove that WP and all those are unsecured, and then finally you can advise people. So thank you so much for being in this video. Watch out for my next video, and then God bless you. Make sure you get a copy of my thesis work, okay. It's basically out there. Let me see if I can show you a copy of the book. I'm still preparing the book up. So basically this is a copy of the book. Here to take it to the printing press for them to do a very beautiful design as well for you. So it's a very huge book for you, but it contains every single thing about the Wi-Fi network, all the vulnerabilities you can actually tell within the Wi-Fi networks, okay, so that you can actually be safe, all right, with your Wi-Fi network. Okay, so thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.